So this is your old unit. First thing to do is to set this knob to the 0, so it's halfway between plus and minus. Set that midpoint, okay? Then set this to 10 minus 10, okay? Or down 10. Inside the unit, you've got two controls, which is 0 and down 20. The first thing you do is you set it so that it's got a 1 thou feeler gauge under the tip, okay, to indicate 1 thou on the meter. Now you can do that on any of these positions. I generally set it to 20. So you first of all you calibrate it, okay? Now to calibrate it, set it to 0, put it on a component, 0 the meter. This one hasn't got the meter because your meter was duff. Set it to 0, okay? Then put a 1 thou feeler gauge in. It moves 1 thou. If it doesn't move 1 thou, adjust the mag potentiometer here so it shows 1/1000th of an inch. Then put maybe a 5 or 6 thou feeler gauge underneath it and set the compression, this one here, set the compression so that it shows you 5 or whatever thickness feeler gauge you put on there. Now to set the down size, first of all set it to down 10, okay? So set it to that, right? Set this to 0 on your meter mechanically on the gauge and on here. Try and get this in the middle somewhere, not all the way over here. So if you set this roughly in the middle and mechanically set the gauge so it's showing 0, then go to 0 on here, okay? And what that will do is that will go down 10/1000ths of an inch, okay? You then put a 10/1000th of an inch feeler gauge underneath the tip, and that will bring the meter up to 0. If it doesn't come to 0, adjust the 0 control. Once you set it to the 0 control, you now have a down 10 size from 0 to down 10, okay? So whenever you set this, that tip has to mechanically move 10/1000ths of an inch. Do exactly the same with this one. So you go down 20. What will happen is, because you've set it to 0 on here, when you go to that position, that will move the meter 10/1000ths of an inch up. So that should show you 10/1000ths of an inch up. You can then put it on a component which is 10 thou down. You could put, you know, if you wanted to, you could put maybe a 20,000th feeler gauge underneath there and change it to 10. So you've physically got to move that tip 10/1000th of an inch, and it equals that. If it's not, if it doesn't register this, adjust that one, your 20. There is no setting to adjust 10. Do not try and adjust anything on the 10, okay? Because all you're going to do is you're going to try and move these out of the band, out of the movement. So run through it again. Set it to one of these. Adjust it to 0. Put a 1 thou feeler gauge in there. Okay, it should go to 1 thou. If it doesn't, adjust the mag potentiometer so that it gives you that spread of 1/1000th. put a 5 or 6 thou feeler gauge in there, or even a 10 thou feeler gauge in there, and it should give you full scale 10,000th of an inch. If it doesn't, adjust the mag. Okay, once you've adjusted that, then use 10 thou feeler gauges to adjust this, but only adjust the 0 and the 20 because that's all you've got. So you start off with that one, you then take out 10,000ths of an inch because it's now gone down and it should come to 0. It then goes up 20,000ths of an inch from there, from that one to that one, and that should come to 0. Okay, try that.